The Joe Rogan Experience.
I mean, coming out as transgender, when you're straight, I'm straight transgender, so I fancy women, so I'm a wannabe lesbian. So if you come out, you could stay in the closet. And down the millennia, if we go back to the ancient Egyptians and further, there's probably a lot of guys saying, I'm not going to tell anyone about this. I fancy women. I'll just go there. I just won't mention this kind of feelings in my head. And I thought I should mention it because if people shout and scream at me in the streets, I will fight that, at least verbally fight that, or, you know, if they start going for it. I have had one fight in the streets, and I landed one punch.
Yeah?
I taught myself jiu-jitsu.
You had a fight on the streets because of this?
Yeah. The guy was just giving me, oh, Tracy, oh, what, oh, you're all dressed up. And I was a street performer for 4 years at Covent Garden. So I was living on the street, you know, not living, I was working on the streets and, you know, just knew a lot of people going around. I just said, Matt, you don't have to be like this. We can all, there's space enough for everyone. Live and let live. He kept giving me stuff. He was a bit drunk, I realized. So he was just going to stay on that wicket, keep saying, and I said, just chill out. And then the third time, I just said, oh, just fuck off. And I went, no, I unloaded a load of swear words on him. And then he swung for me, which was the handy thing because that came up in court. And then I swung back and I landed one punch, which I was pleased about. And I was doing the wipe on, wipe off stuff. I was doing this
blocking?
Yeah, from a jiu-jitsu book. I taught myself jiu-jitsu from a book, if you could believe that, which is, you know, you get these books with the different moves in, and you can't teach yourself that. But I did judo when I was 6, actually, as well. So I liked the idea of doing these things, but I felt judo was always at the bigger kid. You all get in pajamas and the bigger kid just throws you around a bit. I could never quite get the hang of it. I couldn't throw the bigger kids. I could do it now, but I've never... Anyway, yeah.
There's a fantastic video online of a very old judo expert. And I think he's in his 70s or his 80s. And he's working out with these young men. And you see his mastery of judo as these young, powerful men try to manipulate him and throw him around. And he effortlessly, watch this old man. When you see him, he's very, very old. And he's throwing these guys around. And me, as a martial arts expert, these men are not doing this willingly. This is legitimate. Like, even that guy tries to throw him. And this is a black belt who's trying to throw him. But he's so good. And his use of balance and leverage is so amazing. He just knows where to be. Like, see how he just throws himself into a perfect position? I mean, it's really stunning to watch. And this looks like it was from the 50s or something like that. Because it's a really old... Yeah, does it say... Just says 75-year-old judo master. I mean, this is an old man, and the young man is much larger than him.
Yeah.
I mean, significantly, like 25% larger than him, at least. Maybe even, look at him, he looks like he's twice as big as him. And he cannot throw this old man. It's really amazing. Judo is a beautiful art.
Oh, he's going more and more full on, isn't he? He's going, I got to get this.
He's trying. I mean, he knows that this guy's a master, but it's just... Look at that. God. Like, it's incredible. I mean, the way that guy's body can toss these people through the air, and yet they are helpless. They can't do anything to him.
There's no way that...
Look at that. God, boom.
3 times.
75 years old. I mean, that hurts my hips just looking at that. You know?
You can have many different martial arts that you're good at?
Yeah.
Which ones you...
Jiu-jitsu and striking martial arts. My background was in striking, which is in Taekwondo, and then eventually kickboxing and Muay Thai, and then I got really into Jiu-jitsu when I got older.
And Jiu-jitsu, what's the difference in Jiu-jitsu?
Jiu-jitsu's grappling. It's all choking people. It's like it's not throws like judo. There are throws in Jiu-jitsu, but it really comes from judo. It comes from the ground fighting aspect of judo, which is not as emphasized, but the Brazilians... really emphasized it, and sort of they figured out what the best way for a smaller person to defeat a larger person is,
which is
through leverage. And jiu-jitsu is really the only martial art that I can think of that works like you think of a martial art in a movie, like in a Bruce Lee movie. Like, there's all these people, and they were always bigger than Bruce Lee, but Bruce Lee fucked them all up. But in the real world, that doesn't usually work. Like, the bigger people have such a giant advantage when it comes to, like, striking. Like, you're never going to see, like, a heavyweight in the UFC fight a bantamweight, fight a person who weighs 135 pounds. Just wouldn't. It's just too much of an advantage. In jiu-jitsu, it's legitimately possible for a 140-pound man to strangle a 200-plus pound man and do it relatively easily if they're talented.
I saw a documentary on Bruce Lee, and he had The Way of No Way,
Yeah.
which really appealed to me. I mean, that is like a philosophy, quite apart from a fighting philosophy, but to be so trained up in so many things that they do not know what you're going to do. And I kind of adopted that.
Well, he had to overcome significant prejudice to adopt that perspective, because when he was studying martial arts, you were supposed to be loyal to your style. So
Right.
if you learned Kung Fu, you were supposed to be a Kung Fu man for life.
Yep.
You weren't supposed to also dabble in boxing and wrestling and all these different things that he was interested in. He was interested in taking what's useful from all different martial arts and applying them. So in a sense, he was really the founder of mixed martial arts, which you see today. And
Right.
in the UK, they have Cage Warriors, and the US is the UFC, and there's this worldwide now, the art of mixed martial arts, of putting all the different styles together, and you can do whatever you want within the rules.
No, I liked the attitude of that. It's sort of a life attitude. I mean, there's obviously the fighting attitude of it, and then there's the life attitude of just be prepared for anything and everything.
Yeah, and be like water. Like, that was his other thing.
Yeah.
Just to go around things, move through things.
Yeah.
Like, don't headbutt things. Figure out what's the best way. What's the best path?
Yeah. Yeah, I just I haven't learned one. I think I'm waiting for someone to give me a really hard time. Then I say, now I am checking in and I am learning a martial art.